Earlier this week, a leaked video conference revealed that current and former U.S. and European diplomats had met with Berhane Gebre-Christos, a leader of the Tigray People's Liberation Front, or TPLF, which has been trying to topple the government of Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Diplomats and former diplomats at the leaked video conference included Donald Yamamoto, former Acting Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, and most recently, U.S. Ambassador to Somalia, and Vicki Huddleston, former U.S. Ambassador to Mali and Madagascar. In a brief cell phone video taken before the meeting, which was leaked separately, the two of them planned to talk to senior DoD officials about, quote, how they could help, unquote. I spoke to Ann Fitzgerald, University of Waterloo, Ontario professor and director of the Balsillie School of International Relations, about the leaked video conference.
The video became famous quite quickly and became very viral. So my own concerns about the video were, first of all, the way in which a so-called civil society organization platformed a known leader of a nationally declared terrorist group.
Wait. Nationally declared terrorist organization. You need to explain what that means.
Well, there was a vote in the Ethiopian parliament which declared the TPLF as a terrorist group following its attack on the Northern Command posts on the 3rd and 4th of November 2020.
Okay.
So to platform a leader and a spokesperson of that group for a civil society organization to do this is just not done. You don't give platforms for groups that commit high crimes like that. And it's a known leader not just of a nationally declared terrorist group, but a group that was leading an effort, and he himself was the leader of this effort, to topple the legitimate democratically elected government of Ethiopia. So effectively, a group that was planning to overthrow the government in the form of a coup. And so it's wholly inappropriate for any current or previously serving diplomat to get mixed up in these sorts of things. And it was clear that just by way of the tone and direction of the conversation that they were well aware that the TPLF spokesman, former Ambassador Berhane Gebre-Christos, would be speaking with them that day. Secondly, I think the ease with which the discussion was flowing, without any questions being asked about TPLF atrocities being reported in the press and by organizations like Amnesty International, were concerning. Also concerning were statements of support that were given for a TPLF victory and statements towards Abiy stepping aside or coming to the negotiating table. When in fact, as I said earlier on, if the same incident last year on November 3rd and 4th in Ethiopia had happened in any of the countries represented around that table, the response would have been completely different. And any follow-up meetings between diplomats and a group responsible for the original conflict-triggering atrocities, had they happened in any of the countries represented around that table, would have been considered a serious crime. And I would say, lastly, the tone and the statements observed in the meeting would have inevitably left an impression amongst onlookers that the reactions of the diplomats, individuals who presumably would wish to continue their good standing with their host government authorities, may have reflected the more general view of the host nations themselves. And my only final concern, which I'll share with you, is that the website of this NGO in question claimed that the organization had been receiving funds from both USAID and the National Endowment for Democracy.
That was University of Waterloo, Ontario professor Ann Fitzgerald, who has extensive experience in Ethiopia. In Berkeley, for Pacifica, KPFA Radio, I'm Ann Garrison.